दोस्तों, मैं हूं आपका मनपसंद आरजे मनीष और आप सभी को मेरा सप्रेम नमस्कार एंड सलाम नमस्ते। दोस्तों, हाल ही में विमेंस डे यानी अंतर्राष्ट्रीय महिला दिवस मनाया गया और मैं तो ये कहता हूं, एक ही दिन क्यों, महिला दिवस हर दिन और रोज मनाना चाहिए। एवरी डे इज अ वुमेन्स डे, इजंट इट? चलिए, इस सिलसिले में मैं बात करने आया हूं एक ऐसी महिला से जिनका नाम है डॉक्टर शमारू मिर्जा जी, और जो एक साइंटिस्ट है बाय प्रोफेशन, लेकिन एक नॉन फॉर प्रॉफिट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन चलाती हैं और वो है सितारा स्टोरीज, और दिन रात हमारे कैनबरा की मल्टीकल्चरल कम्युनिटी की सेवा में लगी रहती हैं, स्पेशली सपोर्टिंग वुमेन टू पार्टिसिपेट इन सोशल, कल्चरल और सोशल लाइफ। उनके मेंटल हेल्थ के बारे में सोचती हैं, कार्य करती हैं और महिला सशक्तिकरण के बारे में बहुत काम कर रही हैं। और हाल ही में शी हैज़ बीन अवॉर्डेड द ACT लोकल हीरो। इट्स अ बिग ऑनर फ्रॉम द ऑस्ट्रेलियन अवार्ड्स 2023, और साथ में शी हैज़ बीन अवॉर्डेड 2021 ACT मेंटल हेल्थ मंथ अवार्ड। साथ में शी वॉज द फाइनलिस्ट ऑफ द कैनबरा कम्युनिटी स्पिरिट अवार्ड 2021. Welcome, Dr. Shama. I'll call Shama. It's better to say that way.
Thank you, Manish, for inviting me to this show. It's an honor.
आपका स्वागत है, अभिनंदन है, and salam namaste.
Yes,
and congratulations for being awarded the ACT Local Hero of 2023.
Thank you.
How are you feeling of getting the award, and what does award means to you?
To be honest, the award means to me, if you ask me, I would answer in one sentence, that the need and impact of the work that we have been doing for last 6 years, it's been recognized by this award. Because I have been telling everyone in ACT, look, the women, the children, the families from the multicultural background, they have many issues for obvious reasons, social exclusion, language barrier, sometimes domestic violence. So we need to have the space to hear their stories.
Right.
And that's why we have been running, talk shops. We call them talk shops, where women can come and talk about anything.
Right.
And we are also trying to empower them, just training them with soft skills like how to write resume or everything. So, and this means that this award is, to be honest, I want to dedicate to all the women and the children who have been coming to our talk shops or who haven't come yet, because this is for them. It's for them so that they can find their own voices.
Very good. Congratulations once again. And
Thank you, Manish.
You are listening to their stories, because people are losing that skill. I say that सुनते नहीं, किसी की कहानी सुन लें, आधी प्रॉब्लम तो वहीं सॉल्व हो जाती है, and you can solve the problem. You're like a counselor to every woman or every child or anybody who's suffering from mental health or depression. और चलिए, आज मैं इनकी कहानी सुनने आया हूँ. आई वॉन्ट टू लिसन टू योर स्टोरी. चलिए, और बातें होंगी, आपके बारे में जानेंगे, आपकी जो नॉन फॉर प्रॉफिट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है सितारा स्टोरीज. आई वॉन्ट टू नो मोर अबाउट इट, हाउ पीपल कैन contribute to it, or how can people can join, how people can volunteer themselves, because this work involves a lot of hard work, patience, and a lot of your family, social time, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, let's continue the story, and और भी आगे भी बातें होंगी. लगे रहिए, सुनते रहिए रेडियो मनपसंद. जी हाँ, पूरा तड़का लगा के. डॉक्टर शर्मा जी, आप अपने बारे में बताइए. Tell us about yourself, when and why you came to Canberra or Australia.
It's a nice story of life. I think when I was doing my honors in Dhaka, so I'm originally from Bangladesh, so I was studying in the biochemistry and molecular biology, doing my honors. Then I wanted to pursue my higher studies, so I wanted to go to America, to be honest, USA. But then 2001 happened, and after in the Twin Tower incident, the doors were closed for Muslim youth, to be honest.
Right.
And then so we changed our decision and we came to Australia. Australia was very welcoming, and that's how I came to Australia. I did my master's in biotechnology and biopharmaceuticals from the University of New South Wales.
Right.
And then we came to Canberra for our PhD. So I did my PhD in immunology from the John Curtin School of Medical Science Research in the ANU. And then I did my postdoctoral research in biophysics. And then, working in research, working in academia is difficult because you need to apply for funding, and there's only like 5 to 7% success rate in funding. So as a very young scientist, it was very difficult for me to get funding, and I could not take that stress anymore.
Right.
So we decided that we would explore something else. So we joined Australian Public Service. So since then, I'm working for the Department of Health and Aged Care as a regulatory scientist.
Very nice. And you said PhD in immunology.
That's correct.
This has been a hot topic for the last 3-4 years since COVID came.
Exactly. So my research was basically how do the interleukins work inside your body. So that's very much relevant to the COVID vaccines and its efficacy at this moment. But back then I was doing research in the area of leukemia, allergy, inflammation. So it was a very basic research, how do the receptors bind with proteins and everything. It's complicated. Yeah.
Did you manage to come up with any vaccine or something?
No, because it was a very bench top research, so very basic research, and this work requires decades,
of course,
to go to the advanced stage, to go to the industry.
Right.
So hopefully, probably when I'm not here in next 30 years, that research would be used to develop something.
And to your family? And
yes, yeah. So my husband also works for the Australian Public Service. So we did our PhD from the ANU. We did our postdoctoral research from the ANU.
Wow.
Yes, and my daughter, she will be 10 this year. She was born and raised here. Yes.
So you both work in the same department?
Yes.
Do you sit next to each other? I won't go there now.
No, thank God that we don't work in the same section.
And now tell us about your organization, the SiTara Story, and how it all started. What inspired you?
There are actually few incidents that happened in my life 7 to 10 years back that all together, inspired me to do something for Australian Canberra community. And the story I'm going to share first, I think you would also find relevance because we are all migrants here.
Absolutely.
So, years back when I left my country, I left my family, my friends, my childhood, where I grew up, where I got married and everything. So all the memories. So you do come with a strange void in your heart.
Absolutely.
It's very difficult to articulate that void, but it does happen. It does exist in your heart.
And it's very hard for the first generation migrants.
Yes, it's very, very difficult. And I didn't have any issue with getting access to the mainstream in Australia because I did have the skill and qualification.
And you studied here?
I studied here, exactly. But I did realize that there are many people around me in Canberra who were suffering in silence. And there were many issues, factors that contributing to their mental well-being, language barrier, social exclusion, sometimes domestic violence, and low self-esteem.
Right.
And these factors contributed to that mental health issues leading to mental illness. And something happened a few years back when one of my friends wanted to take her life twice, and it's very sad, but thankfully she survived, but I knew someone else who did not. And then I realized that I need to hear their voices. What's going on their mind? Something is happening because we have such amazing services available in Canberra.
Absolutely.
Why didn't these people trust them? Why did they, want to take that ultimate decision of their lives? And then I understood that we need to see these things, these issues through multicultural lenses.
Right.
We do have excellent services, but probably we need to customize them, personalize them so that we can address these specific issues. So we created a safe space where women, families from multicultural background can come and talk about anything without the fear of being judged.
Very nice.
And that gave them confidence, that gave them, higher self-esteem when they can just go out of the door and, start their own journey of empowerment. So this is how SiTara Story was created. Yeah.
And which year it was?
2017.
2017.
But there's another incident I would like to share this with you if you don't mind.
Yes, please.
that something happened in Bangladesh as well. I mean, while I was, I know that you still are very connected with the Hindi culture, with India.
Yep, absolutely.
Same here. I read Bengali newspaper every day, so that I know
I
what's
do the
happening in
same.
Bangladesh, and I can just blame all the politicians for everything. What's happening to the country. Anyway, so I was reading a Bengali newspaper, and then I read a news where in the rural area of Bangladesh, in a village, a 14-year-old girl, she couldn't pay the exam fee. So her mom told her, could you please go and just ask your teacher to let you to pay, sit for the exam. Poor girl did that. And the teacher, instead of allowing her, he just insulted her in front of the whole school, humiliated her. And that girl took her own life.
Oh, sorry.
And then again, I realized that something's wrong with the mindset.
Yes.
So since then, we are also running mental health awareness programs in rural areas of Bangladesh, in villages, so that we can educate the kids, underprivileged kids, the teachers, the parents about bullying, harassment, suicide prevention, and all these things. Because there's no government services available in the rural areas of Bangladesh.
Yeah, similar things happen in India as well, because there's so much pressure from the teachers and the parents on the kids and students related to education and the general comparison with other kids that. So I can relate to that, because we have gone through that bullying, harassment, as well as ragging, but which has now been banned all over the world.
Because there were too many tragic incidents happened, following the raggings in the Indian subcontinent. So it's been banned in Bangladesh now as well.
So talking of SiTara Stories, what are the activities? How do you connect to the community, and especially with the women or children, or is it for men as well?
There are some workshops that for men as well, but we mainly target the women and the children, because we think they're the core of the houses in their families. So, but we also need men to be involved, because at the end we cannot do it all by ourselves, because we believe in doing everything together, and we have realized from research that it's men who need to be educated as well, because the story I shared with you regarding my friend, she was suffering from postnatal depression, and she was suffering for a while. But the partner could not understand, because he didn't have any idea of postnatal depression, so that's why he could not support her. He could not, help her. So it's not a one-way road, to be honest. I mean, we have to involve everyone. So we apply for ACT government grants, and when we get the grants, we design our projects and programs, and we do advertise on social networks. We also email to different community leaders and organizations, and we also reach different multicultural organizations, and also it's like tell everyone. We go to
word of mouth.
Word of mouth, everything. So that's how we have got a good network where women and children can come and talk about anything. So we have few elements of our work. Like first, it's the sharing your mental health story. We have also trained few mental health educator volunteers from multicultural communities in partnership with Mental Illness Education, ACT. So that's like a pioneer organization in ACT. So these educators also share their stories in an appropriate way, so that the attendees can, find the relevance, and that helps them to speak up. Because when you actually vent, you feel better. So that's the first step. And then we have advisors, who are psychologists, counselors, so they can provide the support whenever it's needed. We also have a one-stop platform on our website, which is talked about at all of our talk shops, that where you can get all the information about all kind of services that you need in Canberra. Like if you need legal aid, where do you go? How do you do it? Like if you need language course, if you want to improve your English, where do you go? So we connect them to everyone.
So it's like a one-stop shop for
one-stop shop for everything. Yeah,
that's
exactly.
good.
And we also run different creative competitions. Like during the COVID, we ran like a COVID story writing competition where people from ACT, regardless of their religion, their background, they wrote what they went through during the pandemic. Because
Okay.
borders were
Yep,
closed
that's good.
and there were people who lost their parents overseas,
yes.
but they couldn't go and see them. So it was a wonderful platform for them
People can
to speak up and vent and show their emotions. And that was a highly regarded competition. So these are all the activities that we
So
do.
it's seminars and workshops you do regularly, so people can come and join.
Yes.
Whether it's women, men, or
Yes.
children.
Yes.
And because I was talking about men because I know a lot of men who are suffering in silence with the domestic violence.
Yes.
And they always come to me say that why women you do or awareness for women and or why not men also?
That's actually a very good point. I mean, yes, I work for women mainly, but I do know many men, who do suffer from mental health issues. And mental health issue is more prominent in men in Australia.
Because they don't able to share their story.
Yes, because biologically they're different, so they can't. So now I think that's a very good point you raised. That this needs to be talked about. I don't know whether you know about Men's Link.
Yes.
So they also provide services, for men and everything.
Their office is next to our Canberra Multicultural Service.
Okay,
We
that's wonderful. That's wonderful. So these are all the things that we need to talk about. It's about, Manish, breaking the stigma.
Absolutely.
We come from such culture and we have such beautiful culture. I have to admit that, vibrant culture. But there are like stigmas in all cultures.
True.
And mental health, it's like a taboo in our, the culture that we are from.
We don't discuss
talk about that. And if someone suffers from it, we just call them like crazy or something.
Yeah, and the people think that what others will think about me.
Exactly.
It's like a complex issue or ego issue.
Absolutely. But it needs medication. It's like when you have a cut, you put Band-Aid. Same when you have a cut in your mind
or heart.
In your heart, you need some medication.
Absolutely.
So you need to seek help. If you don't seek help, then it would be there forever.
And that wound can
Get
become bigger and bigger. And
Exactly.
So, as you said, anybody can come and join your seminar, workshops. Is there any fees or something?
No fee. All the events are free. So we just have one fundraiser, annual fundraiser. Only that's when we collect donations.
Yes.
Because we need to run our, organization,
understand,
and we are all volunteers here.
That's right.
So to be honest, we have membership fees. So all the executive members very generously, kindly, they pay membership to run the organization. So it's logistics and everything. So we do have one fundraiser event. So that's only once in a year. This is going to happen on 13th of May in the Old Parliament House.
Okay.
But other than that, all the activities, all the events, all the talk shops, everything is free. And we do provide food, drinks, so that people can. Food is, nice.
Yes.
So you can
food connects
food connects you.
Because Taste of Harmony, which is being celebrated nowadays in Australia.
So people can, network over food. Networking is also key to
social networking is must, and you never know, somebody else would find someone who has a similar story and found a solution to it. That's good. So giving a platform to connect to people and basically I would say that listening to their stories and giving a counseling, and it's all free of charge. So talking of funding, so it's only one fundraiser. Do you get grants? Because it's a lot of money involved to do all these things. It's not, and you need volunteering work as well. So how can people join you as a volunteers as well?
Yeah, so we usually run our volunteer recruitment program twice a year. We just finished one last month, and we got some amazing volunteers, joining our team. We will be announcing that very quickly, but we get grants from the ACT government to run our activities in Canberra.
Right.
But for the program that we run in Bangladesh, so that's where the fundraiser also helps. But the grants we get from ACT government is not always, enough.
Yep.
And there are like so many wonderful organizations. They all apply for grants. So poor ACT government, they need to allocate the fund to all the organization. So, and that's why that fundraiser also contributes to the work that we do in Canberra as well.
Okay.
And as I said, that the executive committee members, they pay a membership fee.
Right.
So that also contributes to our work.
Okay. How do you manage life? How do you community work, family, as a wife, mother?
Yeah, but first of all, SiTara Story is not only mine. I have got such a great team, and they all contribute to the work that we have been doing. You could say that, yes, I mean, it's my brainchild, but I couldn't have done it without the support of my
Absolutely.
friends, and the executive committee members. So I can do it because they all help me. I have a great support system.
That's very good.
And I have to also acknowledge my husband's role here. I mean, he does provide a great support because I have a young kid, raising a kid, it's very challenging.
Absolutely.
Especially if it's a girl, and she's going through that stage of her life now where we need to give her more attention. But again, I mean, working full time and everything, you can do miracles, Manish, if you have that passion.
I know.
If you really feel for something, that much, you will manage time. And you're doing it as well. You're managing time.
Thank you
have
so
been
much.
doing it for the last 30 years, isn't
Yes,
it?
I know.
So-
It is difficult, but we have to look after our own mental health as well. I'm
That's
talking
a
about
very
yours.
good
So how
point.
do you
Yeah.
manage that, your own mental health? Because I know you're working so hard to listening to other
I think you
stories.
should ask this question to my husband.
Good one. I'll interview him next time.
No, I think, as I said, it's difficult, it's challenging, but maybe I mean, at the end, that if you're passionate and if you have a great support
Yeah,
system,
you love this job, basically.
Exactly.
It gives
Yeah.
you not only pleasure but also
Yeah.
happiness.
That's
When you
true.
see somebody happy,
That's true. Yeah.
you feel good inside, isn't
Right.
it? Same happens to me as well.
Right.
So, any advice who wants to run a community organization or want to get involved with voluntary work, not only yours but anything, because people do a bit hesitant about finding time.
Yeah.
Will there be any money involved, and all those things happens.
Yeah, so the first thing I would, suggest everyone who wants to get involved in community work, that you need to first listen to your own voice. Are you passionate enough
True.
to get involved in something which would require your time,
Right.
your skill and everything? So that's the first thing you need to do. And if you think, yes, you really want to do it, then you need to get a really good support system, who can help you to run the show. And I would recommend people to start volunteering with already quite established organizations. I would welcome all the volunteers to work with
That-
us, and so that you can gain some experience.
Insights. Yeah.
Yes, in community work, because it does take many, like bureaucratic stuff as well,
I know.
very table work and everything. So you need to go through all the processes. Sometimes it could be daunting, all the work that you need to do at the beginning. But when it's all done, you feel such satisfaction when you see all the happy faces around you,
Yeah.
the people that you have been working for, for all these years. That would make you feel so happy that then you would feel that, yes.
I'm sure you must be getting a lot of phone calls and emails saying that, oh, Dr. Shama, you have done a wonderful job, and I'm so happy. I've got a solution to my problem or something. Women's Day just passed away, but we celebrated it. But I say every day is a Women's Day, because the work you're doing,
Yeah.
you're a role model for any woman in not only ACT, Australia,
I haven't done
and
anything.
back in subcontinent.
No.
No, it is hard for someone to. So, any message on this Women's Day, and especially women from our CALD or from a multicultural community who are suffering from depression, illness, as you talked about, and not able to speak up, or suffering in silence, I would say.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. So regarding Women's Day, I mean, first, I would like to draw our attention to understand the International Women's Day. What happens nowadays, that it's like too many celebrations, and sometimes that real reason of the International Women's Day get masked. The political root
that's
of
so true.
International
That's so
Women's
true.
Day. That why did those women, went for that demonstration on that day, and why did the UN recognize that day as International Women's Day? What's the purpose? So I would suggest everyone to know the political root of International Women's Day, because it's not about having a women in a board. No, that shouldn't be the purpose. It's not about having panels after panels talks, on International Women's Day only. during that
Just
week.
talk show
Yes.
and no action.
Exactly. I would, to be honest, I would request everyone to, remember all those women out there who are not in the limelight, who are behind the screen, each and every day, who are fighting for their right. I know many women in Bangladesh, and I have read many women in India,
True.
subcontinent, who have done incredible things in their lives, in villages. The mother who sent her daughter to school and the daughter finished her education, I think that's a big milestone in that family. International Women's Day should be about recognizing all these women, who have worked so hard for their better future, for the future of their next generation.
Right.
That's how I think International Women, because nowadays I feel like that there's so much it's like a consumer society, it's like a hallmark event. It's
True.
becoming like a
More of a
like
celebration.
Valentine's Day and Mother's Day. I have no issues with celebration, to be honest.
Yes,
we have
but-
to celebrate the women who have achieved so much.
Absolutely.
I have no issue, but I just want that the celebration should not mask the root of the International Women and the purpose
Well
of
said,
International
well said.
Women's Day.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and as you said that there are many issues among men as well. We should not disregard the men in our journey of empowerment.
Yes.
We should educate the men. We should empower the men, because I know that there are developing countries where men and women both need help. So we should incorporate everyone, and that's how we can build a better society.
Very true. It was very nice. It was lovely meeting you. आपसे बात करके बहुत अच्छा लगा.
Thank you so much, Manish.
And you're doing a wonderful job, I'm sure. And you are well-deserved ACT Local Hero Award, Australian Year Award. And you keep doing the lovely things. I'm sure you'll get some more energy.
No, thank you so much, Manish.
And I would say, लगे रहिए, बस ऐसे ही काम करते रहिए. And
शुक्रिया.
हमारी शुभकामनाएं हैं and lots of
बहुत
best
शुक्रिया.
wishes. And if you need our help from Radio Manpasand or myself, I'm happy to come and do a little bit of voluntary work or
that would be great.
help out.
Yeah.
And if you want to share some stories,
Yeah.
and if some women or men wants to come and share their stories and speak out,
Absolutely. I would like to
That'll be lovely.
just share something with you through your channel now that we are running an intergenerational learning circles this year. So, families from migrant background, multicultural background, they have intergenerational conflicts, So, because we do carry our values and culture and everything, but when our kids are born and raised here, sometimes generational conflicts may arise.
True.
So we are running learning circles throughout the year where parents, children from migrant families are most welcome to join, where we will identify the issues that might be contributing to the intergenerational conflicts, and
Right.
we will try to resolve them. And a policy paper will be published later this year.
wonderful. All the best.
Thank you, Manish.
And keep doing the good work. And thanks for your time. And congratulations
pleasure.
for the award. लगे रहिए. Bye bye.
Thank you, Manish.